What's going on, sailors, and welcome back to the shores of Eternum. Over the past few days since the preview event began, I've noticed a lot of repeating questions that players ask in global chat, and as a result, I've went ahead and compiled a list of the top 20 most frequently asked questions by new players, especially because I've personally answered these questions quite a few times, so I think it makes sense to gather all the answers in one place. Let's go ahead and jump in. Number 1, where's oil? One of the most popular questions. Oil is a little tough right now because there's only a few spots to gather it, but here's the ones we know of so far. The first spot is located in Weaver's Fen. Take a look at the settlement and head directly south to a point of interest called Richmire. You'll find a few nodes scattered around here. Second, and less known location is First Light. Look to the settlement and go directly northwest, or loop around. Light's Crown right here is what you're after. And just to the right of that, along the road, there's about 2 oil nodes that people don't really farm that much, but hopefully that helps. Number 2, where's the briar bushes? Briars are a spiky bush that usually grow near the rivers of Eternum, but can also be found in the north where Greatcleave is. Best place to find them early is to go to the Windsward Fort, and then head directly northeast of it and you'll find briars all along this river. Number 3, where's fiber/hemp? So fiber comes from the tall purple plant called hemp. There's several places like lakes around the map that spawn these, including the island of Monarch's Bluff, but my favorite spot is west of Windsward, heading towards what's known as Bison Island, right over here. It is indeed filled with bison, but also has exactly what you need, a bunch of hemp plants as far as the eye can see. Get out there and farm them. Number 4, where's iron ore? This one's easy. You'll find several hotspots around the map of this. For example, west of Monarch's Bluff on the island, if you look at this area, you'll find a wolf den. All along the terrain north of that, you should find some iron nodes to farm. You'll also find some east of Monarchs at the mines, north of Everfall in this wolf area, west of Everfall in this little section, northeast of Windsward and Bearclaw Pass, and southwest of Windsward following the road towards First Light. There's also a mountain area near Monarchs that I've always loved to farm. Once you find a good spot for it depending on your region, you can start farming this ore at a steady pace. Number 5, where can you find feathers? You're gonna wanna look for the turkeys. Can't even give you a hotspot for them because you'll find them all over. But stick to the starting zones like north of Everfall, around Monarch's Bluff and Windsward, and keep searching plus hunting all around for them and their nest. You also get poultry from them, which allows you to craft a higher tier health recovery food. Number 6, ammo for muskets. Where do you find fire motes? You'll get these in multiple ways. First way is to salvage fire staffs that you find or craft out in the world. Second way would be looting them from chests or salvaging higher quality fire essence. Third way would be dragging glory plants. If you want a hotspot, just head north of Windsward and farm around Amarine Temple. Number 7, where do I find silver and gold ore for jewel crafting? You'll always find gold in bear caves, which are very dangerous, and silver in wolf dens, including the one west of Monarchs on the island. There's also a mine northeast of the Everfall Fort if they haven't changed it. This point of interest should have like 6 or 7 silver nodes all surrounding its center. Really good area to go for it. Also a bonus thing, here's an area if you need to find platinum. Should have about 3 to 4 nodes. Number 8, fastest way to level. Luckily, I actually just released a video about some of the fast ways to hit max. But to briefly explain, once you make your character, rush through the intro main quests until you choose a faction. After that, because of the deliveries being fixed, your next options would either be taking and farming PvP and PvE faction missions and doing them in a chain, alongside taking regular quests, or if you can't PvP or join late, just follow your main storyline while taking any PvE faction missions you can get for that area. Doing this should get you to 25 to 30 plus, just to get you started. Also, in terms of groups farming past level 50 or close to it, if you aren't able to farm Scorpius Tower or an elite area similar to it, there's a farming location located in Greatcleave filled with level 50 plus ancients. I used to farm it all the time and completely forgot about it. Number 9, how do I make charcoal? All you need to do for making charcoal is to chop a tree, take the wood, and burn it in the smelter. You'll find the option on the left side. Number 10, is there a vendor I can sell stuff to? There is not. New World features a player-made economy. Only way you can get rid of gear or stuff you don't need is to either list it on the trading post, drop trade it to other players or drop it in general, and also salvage for materials, which is the preferred method if it's not worth a lot. Number 11, where do I find insert specific vegetable or produce that doesn't grow anywhere? Yeah, in New World, you'll find that quite a few mats that you use for cooking don't seem to have their own crop spawns. For example, you probably won't find many potatoes laying around, or barley or wheat. Of course, you won't find much fish and a few others. There's definitely been feedback on that, but for the time being, you'll want to look for provision chests. You can get most of the cooking materials from that one, aside from the ones like corn, squash, strawberries, carrots, and probably a few others that do have their own spawns, along with dropping from the chest. Number 12. Will there be mounts for the game? Yeah, this question makes sense because during your time in the game, you'll most likely be doing a lot of running. Currently, there are no mounts and they haven't mentioned any plans for them in the near future, but that's always subject to change, especially with the constant conversation around them, but we'll have to see what happens. Number 13, how do I purchase a house? So I've dived into this in a separate video for housing, but basically you need to get at least 15 territory standing levels in any of the zones, unlock the housing option, and then manually go to the instance housing spots in a settlement, and then pick one to buy. Keep in mind that they will vary in price depending on which one you look at. Number 14, what happens when your character dies? Ever since Amazon changed the direction of the game, whenever our characters die, the only thing we really lose is durability on our gear, and then we have to travel back to where we died. The same applies to PvP, but if you are doing a PvP faction mission, the progress will get reset if you die during the mission. Number 15, can you fast travel? Absolutely, and there's multiple methods. Registering at an innkeeper will let you fast travel back to the settlement with an hour cooldown. Owning a house in settlements gives you another fast travel option back to it. And you can also travel from settlement to settlement by spending Azoth on the world map. And of course, if you die, you can respawn at your campfire. Number 16. How do you get tannin, sandpaper, solvent, etc.? These are the secondary materials for New World, which mainly get used for refining. You'll find these in different places like a chest, getting them from mob drops periodically, or buying from other players at the trading post. Number 17, can you respec your character? For attributes, if you press K, you can respec your character for free up to level 20. After that, it'll just start costing gold. For your weapon skills, press K again and go to Weapon Mastery, and then you can respec them in there. It's free up until level 10 in that specific weapon's mastery. After that, it'll cost Azoth. Number 18. Where do you get a life staff or fire staff? These can feel pretty rare early on in the game, but soon enough you'll have a ton of them. You can get them from mob drops, chest drops, corrupted caches from the breaches, buying from the trading post, and also crafting or a few other methods. Number 19. Can I change factions after I choose one? Nope, you can't. Your faction is irreversible after you choose it, so it's very important that you make the right choice, especially if you're planning to play with friends. And finally, number 20. How do you socket gems? So first you'll need someone proficient in stone cutting to cut the gem, and then it can be used for jewel crafting, or you can take that gem, left click, and drag it into your gear's socket inside your inventory. With that folks, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully that answers your questions, and if you need to, feel free to share this with new players curious about this topic. Have a wonderful night or day, and farewell.